Assalamu alaikum. The loudest noise came from that side. Khayr, inshallah. That was exactly. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khatim nabiyyin. Wal imam al mursaleen. Habibina wa nabiyina Muhammad ibn Abdullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. I would like to welcome all of you to tonight's Friday Night Lights here at Lake Islamic Center. I'll be a host for this evening. My name is Salman Gani. But our guest today especially is a young man, Shaykh Abdullah, Raslan. And he's here visiting us from Egypt. He's here, inshallah, on a 2 or 3 week, a month-long actually program. Especially, he's going to have, Allah willing, a long-term relationship with Lake Islamic Center. And inshallah, we'll get to meet him more and more frequently in the coming few months and years. Today's program is something which is not unique, but something which is also not common at Lake Islamic Center. We will have an interview-style discussion in that what I will try to ascertain is Shaykh Abdullah's, in very short time in his life, alhamdulillah, he's acquired so much in knowledge and he has kept himself dedicatedly on the path of knowledge, which is very, very difficult for people of this age group. I was about to say our age group, my apologies, of his age group. And even people of my age group, it's difficult to remain consistent on this path. But alhamdulillah, something that we appreciate so much, as you will learn from his life story, is that he's dedicatedly stuck to this path and he's tried to benefit himself and the community. And inshallah, that is a sign of somebody who, may Allah bless him with knowledge as well as grant him the status of an imam, someone who dedicates themselves totally for the ummah. And the best way to do so is to remain disciplined early on. So the first thing we're going to have, inshallah, is ask Shaykh Abdullah a few basic questions. The format is that I will be asking questions. Shaykh Abdullah, upon his complete desire, he can keep the answer short or long. Also, all of you have the freedom to ask questions anytime you want. Just make sure that you raise your hands. I will look in your direction, inshallah, and you can ask a question if you want to do so. However, after this question and answer session that we will have a dedicated time for the audience members themselves. So if you want to wait for your questions and answers, that's best. But if you want to ask in the middle, that's okay as well. One more time, this is an interview, not an interrogation. So inshallah, we'll try to keep the questions for the mutual benefit of everybody. Tayyib, let's begin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a real pleasure that you're visiting us here today. Where are you from?
So, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala mab'uthi rahmatan lil alameen. Sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathiran amma ba'd. Let's start by full name. My name is Abdullah Muhammad Abdul Samia Raslan.
MashaAllah. It did become interrogation. My apologies. Continue, please.
So, basically from Egypt, from Cairo. Raised in Nasr City.
Okay.
In Cairo. In a calm, vibrant neighborhood. So alhamdulillah, the primary school and my school since I started, my education was through Al-Azhar schools.
Okay.
From the beginning, through Al-Azhar schools, and then Al-Azhar High School, and then Al-Azhar University as well.
So your schooling is a dedicated schooling system under Al-Azhar from the very beginning?
From the very beginning.
From primary school all the way up to there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So how is this different from a traditional schooling system other than that, this one over there?
So basically Al-Azhar teaches you from the beginning Quran, basically.
Okay.
The other traditional school in Egypt, they just dedicate it for the sciences, geography, history, whatever it is.
Okay.
And they just abandon the Quran because it's like to be mixed in a school like here in America. So they got Christians, they got Muslims. So they just abandon the Quran classes.
Okay.
But Al-Azhar, from the beginning, they start to teach you Quran, basically starting from the first juz from the Quran. And when you finish your full study, when you finish university, you should be memorizing the whole Quran. That's the plan of Al-Azhar schools and Al-Azhar University as well.
MashaAllah, that's impressive. Shaykh, question is here, aside from Quran, what is unique about the Al-Azhar system? Do they also teach ulum ad-din in some capacity? Do they have classes or durus in other than Quran and Lugha? What else do they teach you over there?
In Al-Azhar schools?
Al-Azhar schools.
Okay. Al-Azhar schools, they're starting, from the primary school. You start to get a little bit fiqh, a little bit hadith, a little bit tafsir, like something that you can understand well as still like 14, 13 years old. So they started to teach you some fiqh basics, acts of worship, how to make wudu, purification in general, from the primary school, from the 7th grade, I think so. till raising up you as you know your basics. You know your basics of religion. You know how to make wudu. You know salah. You know a little bit of interpretation of the Quran as well, from the smallest the small surahs and this stuff.
MashaAllah, that's very, very impressive. Clearly, as you can see, brothers and sisters, Al-Azhar system is so renowned for very good reason. They have a very well thought out, shall I say, written in stone structure to introduce people to Deen very early on. And that's actually a classical system how people, or the Muslim Ummah, used to study the Deen. In our times, many of us, alhamdulillah, are exposed to Deen when we are in late teens or early 20s. When I say Deen, I mean when we start actually learning it in a classroom setting. Exposure to Deen is obviously there, that we practice it under our parents and we come to the masajid even early on. When it comes to exposure to learning the religion and to see as a proper vocation that we can study it at, let's say, a college or high school level, that is something usually we're not exposed to till we are late teens, early 20s, yani in high school or perhaps all the way up to college. Alhamdulillah, Al-Azhar system, as you can see, is something that they've been introducing from very early on. In other words, they're introducing people and getting them to the idea that learning these should be in parallel to learning secular sciences. Neither is superior or inferior when it comes to how a person practices their religion, but for sure, Islamic sciences should not be taken out from a person's schooling early on. And this is something, alhamdulillah, as you can see, Shaykh Abdullah benefit from tremendously. So Shaykh, question arises, when did you enter the schooling system? How old were you?
So yeah, basically, my father raised me since I was 3 years old. He tried to teach me how to memorize the Quran.
Okay.
So alhamdulillah, I barely finished from the beginning of the Quran, from Surah An-Nas till Surah Al-Ma'idah, verbally. I memorized barely all of the Quran verbally.
Oh, verbally? Okay.
Yeah, verbally. So yeah, I started since I was 3 years old. My dad started just to repeat each small surah for me, and all the day just to repeat it over and over. And then I got from this repetition, of course, it's gonna be on my mind all the time. So yeah, that's the beginning of the path.
Question arises, Shaykh, when did you finish memorizing the Quran?
So yeah, alhamdulillah, I finished at 6.5 years old.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
I'll say something, my sisters, and not to praise the Shaykh unnecessarily. I have listened to, I've read, and I've come across the biographies of many ulama. Not a single one that I come across finished memorizing by the age of 6.5. The earliest I heard was 7 or 8. So this is truly something, a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed Shaykh Abdullah. MashaAllah, is very good. Shaykh, now that we're on the topic of Quran, tell me something. Were you exposed to qira'at? I mean, Egypt is a land of qira'at and maqamat.
Yeah.
Besides Al-Hafs and Asim, did you learn other qira'at as well?
So yeah, basically after I finished the whole Quran, alhamdulillah, so my father started to put me on this path, on the path of the Quran, on the path of different recitations of the Quran as well.
Okay.
So he tried to get me to memorize first the rules to how recite the Quran properly. So what he did is that he teach me how to memorize mutun. Mutun, basically, it's Arabic poetries but related to special science.
Okay.
So we got mutun for tajweed. Poetries that actually it simplify the rules for you and to keep always you memorizing these special boots and to not ever gonna forget the rule concerning these special sites.
MashaAllah. So as a common trend, all of us understand this. If we were to ask any of you, tell me the story of Jack and Jill, all of you can tell me easily. Why? Because we memorize the story in the form of what? A poem. They went up the mountain, they fell down the mountain, followed with a pail of water, right? The idea is that if you learn sciences in poetry, ash'ar as they say, in form of long manzumat or novel, whether they are symmetric or not, it becomes easy for you to memorize them, especially if you're younger. The advantage of something like that is that as you grow older, that nazm stays with you, or that poetry stays with you. The Shaykh, mashallah, has memorized thousands of lines of poetry in multiple sciences. Shaykh, would you mind sharing with us a few of those? What are the names of those poems that you memorized?
After a very young age, I finished the Quran, alhamdulillah. So when I was 8 years old, I finished 2 poetries concerning signs of tajweed for Quran.
Okay.
It was 250 lines of poetries.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I get into another matn. It's considered to be the biggest one among these mutun.
Right.
It's matn al-Shatibiyyah.
MashaAllah, okay,
Related to Quranic recitation.
So,
actually, it contains 1,173 lines.
Allahu Akbar.
So yeah, alhamdulillah, I finished that one when I was 10 years old.
MashaAllah, okay.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Do you review this, besides obviously review the Quran, but do you review mutun as well?
Alhamdulillah,
Okay,
yeah.
MashaAllah. So it's not something that just stays all the time. You have to keep reviewing it.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
And after that, I get to another matn for Arabic language, Alfiyat ibn Malik, which also 1,000 lines. And another one for Aqidah, for Tawheed, oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's also 300 lines. And another one...
What's the name for that one?
For Aqidah,
Yeah.
Sullam al-Wusul.
Okay,
It's called Sullam al-Wusul, yeah. And there's another one for Al-Hadith, but it's a simple one. It's 34 lines for Al-Bayquniyya. It's called Al-Bayquniyya to teach you the terminology, the Hadith terminology,
Yes.
and how can you define a weak Hadith from a strong one, from a sound one. So yeah, it's good.
MashaAllah. Shaykh, since you memorized the Quran so early, is it safe for me to assume that you also participated in Quran competitions?
Yeah, alhamdulillah,
Okay.
I participated. The first competition, I was 8 years old. Alhamdulillah, I got the first place over Egypt old.
No.
Alhamdulillah. I got it actually 3 times. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, okay.
Yeah.
So are you by now a judge over there? No, not yet.
But I got it in 2012, 2013, 2015. Alhamdulillah, first place over Egypt. Alhamdulillah.
Shaykh, I saw in your profile picture on WhatsApp, you're holding with a few of your friends a trophy.
Yeah.
What is that trophy for? Tell us about that.
Okay, so it was in McAllen actually. It was that Ramadan. I was in McAllen over there with a lovely community as well. It's like this community, alhamdulillah. So yeah, we were out chilling. We were chilling out.
Okay.
We were playing a game, of course, you know about that, throwing the axe or something like that.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Axe throwing.
Yeah.
Okay. Sheikh, question here arises. Oftentimes we'll see people, mashallah, who are good in qira'ah. Mashallah, you are good in qira'ah. There's no denying that. Often have some overlap with nasheed and people who are good with that. Have you been exposed to this or something that you participated in it?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, in Egypt also, me and my friend, we were like, we were like 4 people, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It was like a team. So yeah, we went to a competition for nasheed in Cairo, and we got also the first place, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, Sheikh, that's very impressive. Before we continue, are there any questions that you want to do? Because I want to go into more dedicated student stuff right now. So I wanted to ask if you guys want to ask any personal questions. Oh, by the way, there's a mic over there. If you have any questions, it's an excellent opportunity for you to ask. I know many people, they try to humanize someone that they come across, and one of the first questions they'll ask is, how old are you? Where are you from? How are your parents? Do you have siblings? Who are your friends? That kind of questions. I usually leave that kind of questions because I hesitate to ask someone like that. But inshallah, those questions are not off topic and they're not off the table. If you want to ask them, you're more than welcome to ask them. Khalas, I'll ask Shaykh, how many siblings do you have?
I got 4 sisters, but no brothers. I'm the only one.
MashaAllah. Tayyib. Okay. Shaykh.
There's one good question.
Oh, there's a question over there. Okay.
What is the thing to increase your remembrance path? What are the techniques to memorize?
So yeah, first of all, when I started to memorize the Quran, every kid in such a young age, they can memorize everything you're telling him, even if it's a song, even if it's like, example, anything, he can memorize it. So yeah, this young age got nothing in mind, so everything come up with, so of course he's gonna repeat it, and of course with the repetition, this thing is gonna be in mind forever. So yeah, for the Quran, I would every day memorize a page from the Quran, and the next day I will memorize a new one, and of course it will be the other one that we memorized yesterday. So how can you keep up with memorizing and to not forget it? Repetition, basically.
Repetition is the key.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Shaykh, I know you the last time you finished memorizing the Quran was more than 10, 12 years ago. Are you still maintaining a routine of reviewing some Quran daily?
Yeah. So yeah.
How much do you review regularly?
So after I finished the Quran, my dad started telling me that if you didn't repeat the Quran every day, you're gonna forget it. The Quran is something in which you will not hold, so he's gonna scare from you. So yeah, he used to first it started with me to make every day just as a repetition, and after when I was like 9 or 10 years old, after I memorized Mutun, after I gave my mind another things other than the Quran, so I started to increase the revision, the amount of revision from the Quran up to 3 juz every day. 3 juz a day, inshallah. Okay,
so next question. For sure, people in their teenage years find it difficult to remain focused. This is a time when the world opens up to you and everything becomes so engrossing, everything becomes so interesting. How did you maintain your focus on continuing to learn the deen? Especially what I'm trying to say is, obviously safe for me to assume that many of your friends who started this journey with you may have since left that journey. MashaAllah, you're still on it. What kept you going and what kept you remain on this path till this moment?
Yeah, so I was about to answer this at the last question.
At the last question,
yeah,
inshallah.
Okay. It's gonna be a good listener also.
Okay, then let's do this. We'll delay that one for that one. Tell me, amongst Islamic studies, especially Islamic sciences, which is your favorite besides the Quran?
Besides the Quran. So basically, what the system of Al-Azhar is, to make you like a company, to make you like, comprehensively, like get more sciences at the beginning, and then after you finish your degree, and then after you already graduated, you're gonna choose the best thing you love. So basically, at the first year of Al-Azhar, I'm an Islamic Studies department, but in English. So yeah, the first year we already got tafsir, okay, and we got usul al-fiqh in the second year, and also hadith terminology. And I'm sorry, the first year we got something, it's called Masadir Ulum Islamiyya, like sources of the sciences of religion.
Okay.
And actually, it's opened up like many windows for us. We already taught about like some scholars concerning tafsir and some scholars concerning hadith al-Bukhari and Muslim and the 6 Sunan books. And so, yeah, the system of Al-Azhar is not to make you specialize from the first or second year. It's actually to open up like a wide window for you to be comprehensively got the whole sciences first, and then trying to find the way that you already belong to.
Okay. But the question is, Shaykh, how do you keep yourself motivated to study further is my question. Don't you want to go play Fortnite? I'm sure people of your age could do that.
So basically, I'm a
video games.
I'm good at video games. I'm really good at video games. Yeah. I like to play FIFA. I like to play these games as well. Yeah.
Don't test me on that.
Yeah, but of course, there is a management of time. So yeah, not all the time is playing. So yeah, and that's how my dad tried to tell me at first, if you're gonna finish this work, so you're gonna get something in turn. So yeah, not all the time is playing. So of course, it's for yourself before your others. Of course, your dad wants you to keep this, but even your dad didn't advise you. So you're gonna do this because you want to do this. You're gonna be something. You wanna be a good one. So basically, my friends in Egypt and my mates since I was in primary school till the university, many of them didn't follow the same path that I really followed. And where are they right now? And where are me right now? So that's the difference right here.
So absolutely. Shaykh, speaking on the same tone, how were your summers and holidays? I know people take vacation when they're on holiday, or summertime they go, and especially children, summer holidays, they stay away from studies, they like to participate in extracurricular activities.
Vacation.
And vacation, this thing, they go out with family. What were your times, especially in your teenage years?
In my teenage years. So yeah, I was born in Cairo, but my dad belonged to another city in Egypt.
Okay.
It's the village, basically. So yeah, I would like always to go to the village.
Okay.
So I got my cousins over there. So I was to hang over there with them over there. And in vacation, simply in Cairo, I don't got many friends. I don't that open person all the time. So I don't got many friends in Cairo. So, yeah, that's why.
Can we change that here? For the Shaykh to have more friends, inshallah, here? Continue, sorry.
So yeah, I would like to go to the valley, see my cousins, see my aunts, see relatives, basically. I, of course, go to a summer vacation, beach and this stuff.
Do you follow sports?
Yeah.
Do you play sports for that matter?
I do.
What sports do you play? Tell us.
I really like soccer.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
I should have said what sports do you play besides soccer, because that's understandable.
Besides soccer? Yeah, I'm going to gym as well.
MashaAllah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm following.
Have you been exposed to cricket?
Cricket? No.
I'm from India, so obviously I had to ask that question.
Yeah. And I also heard about pickleball or something like that.
Which one?
Pickleball. Yeah.
Clearly, you guys know something that I do not know about. Pickleball. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
People told me about that. I'll try this, inshallah.
Okay. Shaykh, why come to America? we could have gone to UK, Australia, New Zealand. America, I think it's lost that idea of land of opportunity, that kind of thing. How come you're here, of all the places, to expand? Tell us about that.
So I started, my first journey ever was with my dad to Canada, basically.
Okay.
My dad, he's got two majors. He's a physics teacher in Egypt, a physics teacher,
Mashallah.
and also he got a major of preaching. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
He's a preacher. He's major in preaching.
Yeah. A major of preaching. So yeah, he used to travel abroad since 2000 until now. So yeah, I traveled many times to Europe and Canada and America. So yeah, he just gave me a journey with him to Canada and then in America. Yeah, and alhamdulillah, I find a way here in America. Yeah.
So Shaykh, you're right now you're in bachelor studies at Azhar or master's?
No, I'm still undergraduate.
Yes, okay. What is your major right now?
My major is the Faculty of Languages and Translation, and the major is Islamic Studies in English.
Islamic studies in English. This is unique because one would assume studying Al-Azhar, of all the places where they have such a strong focus on Arabic, you chose English.
Yeah.
Why, Shaykh? Tell us that.
So yeah, this major actually it wasn't exist that much time passed.
Okay.
So it's considered to be a new one. It's only like 60 years old.
60?
Yeah.
That's pretty old, Shaykh, especially in your lifetime.
Yeah, but it's not that old because we know Al-Azhar like 1,000 years. So yeah, this major has just come up, and I assume that alhamdulillah, our professors over there, they consider to be the founder of this major. They already teach us. The founders of this major, they're our professors. So
Okay. Oh, they're professors. Okay,
Yeah,
mashallah.
professors.
So they're still teaching over there.
yeah.
And why did you decide to go in using the English and not instead of Arabic?
So yeah, so basically, I just in Egypt in high school, you need to choose like between two majors. You need to choose if you want to study physics, if you want to study chemistry, if you want to study math, this aspect, or if you want to go to the other one, study geography, literature, and history and philosophy. So I chose the one for philosophy and geography and this stuff.
Okay.
So it leads you to a specific college. It doesn't open for you all of the college. So if you're gonna choose this major, if you're gonna choose this aspect since you're in high school, so you're gonna be dedicated for a specific college or specific majors. Okay. So the best thing ever was in this list was languages and translation. Mm-hmm. So my dad told me this advice. So he told me, if you're gonna go to learn language, it's a good thing, and also translation, but choose something. It's choose something that got for you many opportunities, many chances for you. So if you're gonna go to language and translation, but Department Islamic Studies, so it opened for you the way of preaching, and we already, alhamdulillah, I raised for that way. It opened also for you the language and translation, and even we got the language in this major, it's harder than the other majors in language and translation.
Okay. So Shaykh, now just talk about preaching. Have you started preaching in English or in Arabic? Do you do khutab, do you do khawatir and all that? I know you're doing a program here, but aside from that, do you do that in Egypt?
No, in Egypt actually I'm really simple person, so I don't do anything in Egypt. But alhamdulillah, I traveled, the first time I was only 17 years old. I head to New York.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, I was mosque over there. That was a church at that time, but it turned on a mosque. So alhamdulillah, I was the first one to pray in this place. It was a church and turned...
Are we talking Masjid Isa ibn Maryam?
Huh?
Masjid Isa ibn Maryam, that masjid?
No, it's called Al-Istiqama in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Al-Istiqama in Brooklyn. So yeah. So alhamdulillah, I went over there, lead the month of Ramadan prayer, Taraweeh, basically. My English wasn't that good over there. I know that my English is still not good. It's still not good enough, but we'll keep up.
That's Shaykh. Taraweeh is Arabic, so we all set over there.
Yeah. So yeah, I led the prayer over there in New York, and then I came to Texas last year for Ramadan in McAllen. I also led the prayer. I started to make simple lessons in English, basically. So yeah, I just learned English in a year and a half. So it wasn't that much time for me. So yeah, I started to make simple lessons in English for them, like like some advices through the month of Ramadan. how to keep up with the prayer, how to get the benefit from your fasting, the wisdom beyond our fasting, the wisdom beyond our prayer, suhoor, make a connection with your relatives, don't make an trap wife with them, and these stuff. Yeah, so that's why that was the beginning.
Excellent. So Shaykh, you mentioned that you were able to travel to Canada. What other countries have you visited besides Canada and United States?
For me,
Yes.
no, I didn't travel anywhere. It's just
Canada and
Yeah,
United States.
that's
mashallah. In the United States, you have been to New York.
yeah.
Obviously, you're here right now in Texas. Where else have you been?
I went to New York, I went to Texas, and I just crossed from Canada to Seattle just one day and came back.
Okay.
That was
Well, New York and Texas have at least one thing in common: fantastic food. Have you tried the food here in Houston? Especially in Houston,
Yeah, I did. But random restaurants, yeah.
the random restaurants. Is there something we can rectify for the Sheikh? Introduce him to the actual, one of the things Houston is famous for, which is the food. So inshallah, take the Sheikh, inshallah, sometime out. Let's go and introduce him to some cuisines here. Inshallah, you'll find cuisines from multiple different cultures and nations here. It's something that you should expand your palate for. It'll be fun, inshallah. Sheikh, while in Egypt, what are some misconceptions about Islam that you have heard from people? I'm not talking about just people from Egypt. Even on your journey or learning on the internet or something like that, what are some common problems or some common misunderstanding people have about Islam that you think are obviously misunderstandings?
So yeah, Egypt basically is an Islamic country, as we know. But most of the people in Egypt, these last 10 years, they got actually like many issues with anyone adopted to Al-Azhar or anyone adopted to Islamic major or something like that. So since they just noticed that you adopted to Al-Azhar, so he called you Shaykh. And Shaykh in Egypt, it means something a little bit offensive. So you Shaykh, you don't smile at all. You don't know get funny at all. You're not playing. You're not hanging out. You just keep in the mosque, keep praying, keep studying. That's all I can do. They don't know actually. So yeah, that's the most thing that I face in Egypt, even by an old people.
Mm-hmm.
So you see an old man, he's already praying in the masjid. So some of them saw me when I was like 15 years old. So hey, come here. Why are you playing right now? Why you always come to the masjid pray? Should I play in the time of prayer? I didn't know that. So yeah, that's the misunderstanding of the people in Egypt, that the Muslim guy should be always like dedicated for Islamic sciences and got no time and got no free time to do like to live like a real human being. So yeah, that's the misunderstanding. But actually, the Islamic path, the Islamic way, the Islamic measure, it doesn't teach you that. It just teach you how to keep up on the right path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِشْةً ضَنْكًا. So as long as you in Allah's path, as long as you're mindful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you're going to be happy in this dunya and also in the hereafter. That's it.
MashaAllah. Sheikh, question here arises, obviously, one of the things that helps a person remain on the path of truthfulness, learning, and da'wah is good company, ashab, suhbah. Tell us about your ashab or your friends. Are family members like you also who are engaged in learning Islam amongst your family, immediate or extended family?
So yeah, my family, as I told you, I got 4 sisters. Yeah, 2 of them in college right now. One of them already graduated, and the other one in, what we can call, and also Islamic major.
Okay.
In Egypt. So yeah, and the other 2 still in high school, primary and high school.
Okay.
So yeah, about my friends. So as I told you, I got no much friends in Egypt. So it's only like 6 or 7 people that I already hang out all the time. So yeah, most of them actually don't adopt Islamic measure as well. But alhamdulillah, we always keep up praying, alhamdulillah, in our neighborhood. We praying on the time. We try to advise each other when we just sit downstairs or doing something, hanging out. So we try to benefit each other as much as possible.
Okay.
So we just initiate a discussion about hadith. Some of them asking me, as in Islamic studies and also in English, so they are interested to know the language about Islamic measure. So that's why they keep asking me, how can you translate this hadith? How can you translate this ayah? This stuff. So we initiate a discussion about Islam, about hadith, about this stuff. So alhamdulillah, we're trying to get closer to each other. And when it's a time for gym, when it's a time for playing, when it's a time for hanging out, we always do this, alhamdulillah.
That's very good. Very happy to hear that. Sheikh, obviously I can tell that your father has had a tremendous influence in your life. We'll inshallah discuss that at length towards the end. But amongst your teachers, can you tell us a few things about some of your teachers that really inspired you? Especially if you don't, I don't mind if you mention their names, obviously, it'll be good to know about them. But there must be some of your mashayikh throughout the years who have really had an impact on you.
So yeah, there's a riyaj right here that's the only shaykh for me is my father, alhamdulillah.
Okay.
So yeah, but there's a professor in my college. He's called Dr. Al-Rahawan. He's well known. He came here to America, spent like 12 years in America, and he, mashallah, he established like many books in America called the Hadith terminology for Dr. Muhammad
Dr. Sa'id Al-Rahawan is my teacher as well, Hadith.
Muhammad Sa'id Al-Rahawan, yeah. Yeah, mashallah, he's a muhaddith, mashallah.
Yes, I thought he was at Taiba University in Medina.
That's it.
Did he move or is he still there?
No, he just moved to Egypt, yeah.
Oh, he moved back, okay.
Yeah, he's been on time over there, but he moved again to Egypt.
Okay.
And he's, mashallah, considered to be one of the founders of our major, Islamic Studies in English. So, mashallah, he's patient, mashallah, he's compassionate, mashallah. So, it fleshes out the personality of him, mashallah.
He taught Mustalah Hadith and also Arba'in Nawawi only dedicated to fiqh. He's very, very good at it, mashallah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, that's very happy to hear. Other than that, I'm sorry, go ahead. Before we continue further with my side of the questioning, are there any questions for the Shaykh that anyone has from brothers or sisters' side? MashaAllah, loaded question, Shaykh.
So yeah, I wish that.
She's asking, compared to the students or people of a certain age group in Egypt, their counterparts in America, what are they missing in their learning of the deen that you have come across? What is a typical student or person that you talk to? What do you find missing in their learning process in America?
In America or in Egypt?
In America.
The students from America.
Yeah. I know your exposure is limited, but you must have seen some dichotomy there for sure.
So yeah, I hope that I understand you well, that you're speaking about the missed science in majors right here in America that is already exists in Egypt?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so basically in Egypt, as I told you, concerning Al-Azhar University and Al-Azhar System, is trying to raise our view with much possible comprehensive sciences of religion. So yeah, of course, it does not exist right here in America. So yeah.
For sure, depth is one of the things, but you can tell by the time he came to bachelor studies, by the time he entered bachelor school, he had already memorized, already learned, been already exposed to so many sciences that many of us are exposed to only when we enter bachelor studies. We don't get exposure to something like that in our Sunday school or something like that. And understand me, Sunday school is not a place to teach something at this depth, something that has to be pursued on the side by the child, by insistence of the parents. The second thing, obviously, we lack is lugha. We have little to no exposure to the Arabic language in America. Even right now, alhamdulillah, I know many schools, and I'm saying alhamdulillah because it's something that we should be happy about. Many universities in America have bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs in Islamic sciences, where students graduate with sometimes a degree as high as a PhD, a doctorate degree in Islamic sciences. They don't understand basic Arabic. It's because whatever they studied has already been translated by somebody else, and that was sufficient for the rigor of the program to allow them to graduate. So for sure, as you can imagine, such a person is not qualified to be a scholar, let alone someone who's qualified to give fatwa. But a person who comparatively grows up in a country where the curriculum is, at least in advanced studies, purely in Arabic, for sure, such a person will have command over Islamic sciences. There is no escape from this, brothers and sisters. If you want to learn the deen, you have to learn the language in which it was revealed. Wallahu a'lam. Shaykh, the most important question of the night. Clearly, you mentioned multiple times your father and his influence on your life has been significant. Would you mind telling us a bit more detail? I know you wanted to delay answering those questions. Please tell us about that.
So basically, the method of pedagogy, the method of how I raised up, how I grew up, that my father told me something that everything has a price. So yeah, as our brother was asking about how to deal with his kid about He's always trying to get bored about memorizing, or let's do it later, let's delay it for another day.
Sahih.
So yeah, my father used actually to teach us that everything has a price. So during your day, you got missions, you got tasks that should be done. So as long as you've done already some of them, you're gonna get a price for this amount of tasks, this amount of mission that you already done. And if you just regret to do these things, if you just refuse to do these multiple tasks, so you got nothing. So yeah, my father used to come from work, and my stepmom actually, because my real mom was dead since I was 3 months. So my stepmom, I consider her as a real mom for me. She got full respect. She got full respect from me. She raised me up with my dad as well. So yeah, she used to keep up with me in teaching and memorizing the Quran. So my dad used to go work, and then after he came by night, then he asked first about me. I'm the only male, so he asked first about me. Does Abdullah finish his memorizing? Does Abdullah finish his revision from the Quran? So if she told him that I didn't finish, there's going to be a tough night for me. So he's going to just spend the whole night with me trying to make out this all missing day in such 2 hours. So of course, stress, crying, everything happening. So yeah, but he told me that everything got a price. Since I finished the Quran, alhamdulillah, at that age in Egypt, we didn't get like smartphones, we didn't get this stuff. So the best common thing these days was bikes.
Bikes. Okay.
Yeah, so he told me, I'll get you the nicest bike in the stores. So you finish the whole Quran. So alhamdulillah, he got me one. And after when I memorized the first 3 mutun, Tuhfa, Jazariya, Shatibiyya, he got me a trip with him to Canada. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So he told me that everything has a price. As long as you do your stuff, you do your homework, you do your memorizing, you keep up, and everything is good, so there's going to be a price for this. And alhamdulillah, when I was 17 years old, as I told you that I traveled to New York, I was at my last year in high school, I was focused in my study. So he told me, what about to travel to New York? I thought that I'll go with him, but he told me, no, you're going to do it alone. So yeah, I told him it's the final year of high school, and the final year of high school in Egypt is really important, because actually it decides that if you're gonna get a good major or not.
Yes.
So yeah, your grades in the final grade of high school in Egypt, it decides that way.
Okay.
So yeah, I told him, how could I make this? He told me, we've studied barely the whole year, so it's just a month. Just go to America and try to know people and try to open for you a path in preaching and this stuff. And alhamdulillah, of course, it worked. Alhamdulillah. So yeah, he told me that everything has a price in this life. So yeah,
very important lesson for sure. Shaykh, you're here right now in Texas, Houston, and you're right now in your bachelor's undergraduate at Azhar, correct? What is your path forward here onward? Once you graduate from bachelor's, what are your plans?
What's my plans?
Yeah.
So of course, this way, the way of preaching the Islam, the way of spreading the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a way of satisfaction for you, yourself first. So you always deal with the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You trying to teach the people something beneficial. Even if the first one who's going to benefit from that you're the one who's going to benefit from this way first. So it's for you before it's for the people. And the Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best of you is the one who taught the Quran and trying to teach the people the Quran. So what about trying to teach the people the religion in a whole? So of course it's a wide, big measure. It's a good thing to be in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will never let you down. Allah will never cheer you down. The Prophet ﷺ used to admonish his companions. He said, احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاهك إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لن ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك ولو اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لن يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك. The Prophet ﷺ said that be mindful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to find Allah in your way. Be mindful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to find Allah with you. وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةَ, and know that if the nation gather together to benefit you with something, they're never going to be able to benefit you with that thing except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already recorded for you. And if the whole nation gathered together to harm you with something harmful, they were never going to be able to do this except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already recorded against you. That's all.
MashaAllah, Shaykh. That's very good news. I think it's good news for us as well that you want to continue this. Shaykh, besides bachelor's, master's inshallah on the program as well?
Inshallah.
And then PhD?
And then what?
PhD inshallah? Doctoral?
Yeah, inshallah.
Inshallah. And that's quite a bit in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Shaykh, one final question. How long are you here and what exactly are you going to be teaching or benefiting us with here at Lake Islamic Center? Tell us about that.
So yeah, I'll stay here inshallah to 29th of this month, September. So yeah, the program, it's not clear yet, but of course, inshallah, every Friday we got halaqah here, inshallah. And I'm trying to make something, of course, it's going to be beneficial. I'm trying to explain or interpret some of these mutun concerning the science of tashreed, if there's anyone is interested, of course. I'm trying to read the Quran, to recite it properly, inshallah.
MashaAllah, Shaykh. Brothers and sisters, we're going to end the program here tonight. Jazakumullah khairan. I know if we wish we had more time, but the best part is we do have more time with the Shaykh. The Shaykh is here, inshallah, till the 29th of this month. I encourage all of you to approach him, to spend some time with him, take him out, inshallah, for lunch and dinner, as well as ask you a question that you wanted to ask him, especially how you can assist your own children by applying some of the techniques that he had. With that, we'll end. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiru wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.